Hello everyone and welcome to Makeup Monday. Today we are going to be doing a tutorial in honor of Valentine's Day. I know not everybody likes Valentine's Day. There's a lot of anti-Valentine, oh I don't do Valentine stuff in the world, which is fine if you're like that, but don't hate on the people who enjoy it. You know, I personally don't care if it's a Hallmark holiday. It's cute, it's something sweet, and there's too much hate in the world. Do you really need to have a date of hate for Valentine's Day, even though St. Valentine was a massacre thing? Anywho, let's just get started with this cute little makeup tutorial, which could be nice for any kind of a date night. Doesn't necessarily happen to be Valentine's Day, but I'm going to start with my e.l.f. Hydrating Primer, which smells like not repulsive, but not pleasant. But it's really cold where I am in Northeast Ohio, and need a little more than that. The problem with my e.l.f. primers, and I had this with the Poreless Primer too, is I feel like I need 2.5 pumps to cover all of my face and neck evenly, because the hydrating primer particularly, you can feel where it is and where it isn't, but my skin's so dry that I really need something else to just give it a boost. Then I already put chapstick on my lips, just so we're clear on that. Like I said, very cold, very drying. I'm going to be using my CC cream from IT Cosmetics in Light, and I'm just going to be applying that with my fingers. That might freak some people out, but life goes on. You do want to make sure that you wash your hands before using my Maybelline loose powder. And I think this is in number 1. It's not the translucent one, it's the next one up. And with a big, this is an e.l.f. Total Face Brush. And just going to do a light dusting. For this particular look, I'm really not going for super heavy. I'm going for lighthearted, huh? Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and go and do the eyes, and we can finish up with the rest of the face later. This is the Milani eyeshadow primer. We all know it. Most of us love it. Not everyone, because there's ever anything that everybody loved, oh, what a world this would be. But just a little bit on the ring fingers. I'm going to go ahead and cover and get a little bit underneath the eyes as well. There we go. There we go. Okay, so there's a lot of palettes being used here, and I apologize for that. But the first one we're going to use is a very old palette. This is from the Kat Von D Tattoo Chronicles 2 palette. It came in like the book, but this is just the palette itself. And I'm going to use this shimmering light pink, which there's barely any of, but it's that one. And it's a very light shimmering pink called HeartKiller, and I'm just putting it on the end of a slightly fluffy paddle brush, and I'm just putting this into the crease. And for me, because I have not quite hooded lids, but I do have a flap slightly above my crease as well. And the reason why I'm choosing a light pink is because it makes a nice color with the purples we're going to use, and it helps give the orange a little bit of warmth to bounce off of, but you're really not going to see it too much, but it does make a nice easy transition color between both sides. Then we are going to use, this is the eyeshadow sample set 13 from Coastal Scents, and we're going to be using the color Peachy Keen, which is a shimmering peach color, which actually has a bit of a hint of pink to it. And with this same brush, I'm just going to get it more on the end and just going to cover our lids with it. As you can see, it has this light little coating with it. but we can pack it on a little bit more so that more of that. The next color that we're going to do is this light purple, also from that shadow set. This is called Bombay. It's just a shimmering lavender. And we're going to put this into our crease right where the pink and the Peachy Keen meet, where HeartKiller and Peachy Keen are. The next color that we're going to use with that same sort of soft, not soft, stiff blending brush, I'm going to be using the color Jammin from the Peanut Butter and Jelly collection from Too Faced. And I don't want a lot of it, you just want a little bit on the end of your brush. And this is really just going to help define our crease. And we're just going to be making a basic C on our lids. Clean blending brush, we are going to use a 224 and just finish blending that out. That way everything is smooth, creaseless. I'm not going to add any more to it, but just what's left on the brush, I'm just going to go kind of pat a little bit over the lid, just so that we have that clean. Just so that that's a little bit more even and the color, any fallout just gets swiped away. To define the eyes, I'm going to go back to that Jammin color with a stiff liner brush. And we're just going to line our eyes. I know people have their own tricks. I find just doing little dashes, starting from the outer corner and then working my way out. A lot of people like to work from the middle. That just isn't for me. You do what you need to do. And then we're going to also take that underneath the eyes a little bit, right up against the lash line, because you don't want anything too harsh. Then I'm going to take this brush, just a flat paddle brush, and just going to go underneath it just to blend that out a little bit, because we don't want it to be too super dense or too super dark. With that same paddle brush, I'm going to go ahead and take Spread the Love from that palette and just use that as a highlight. Again, having a peach instead of a white helps work with these colors a little bit more. However, if you have a darker skin tone, white will work better as the highlight, because otherwise this will come off a little too orange against a darker skin tone. And that doesn't help anybody. Go for peach if you're more towards the pale. Go for white if you're a little bit darker of a skin tone. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to clean off our angle brush. Just wiping it on a moist towelette type of deal. And I'm using my 88 Warm palette just because I like the color eyeshadow. There's third row up, second row in, going from right to left. And that's what I'm going to use to define my brows. I'm not a big brow person. I really just fill them in lightly where the areas are sparse, and that usually sets me up for the day. If you need to do more than that, then please feel free to. But this is just what suits me. Like I said, I have pretty thick brows and they grow for the most part pretty evenly. So I don't need too much done to them, because otherwise they look kind of Groucho Marx-esque. A lot of you might be too young for that. Using a spoolie brush, gonna go through just to help blend that out and comb all of those brow hairs, and it helps disperse the color a little bit nicer. There we go. Or you can smudge a little bit and easily wipe it away. There we go. Then I'm going to be using my eyeliner. This is Trick, and it's just a pink hinted kind of a copper color, because I didn't want to go too dark. Although I would recommend maybe a brown like Smog or Half-Baked perhaps. Black would just be too intense and would overwhelm the eye. And we don't need that. And then I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes, and I'm using the Collosal Volume Express in Waterproof, the cat eyes one, I believe this is called, or leopard.